If you are currently leveling up your Django and Postgres skills with this tutorial, you might like to know that this tutorial is part of a whole playlist where you will learn how to, with Django and Postgres, create database level constraints and triggers. If you like this playlist and you would like to learn more about Django ORM, then do check out our Django ORM Mastery course on Udemy. Links to the playlist and course can be found in the video description. As you start to work on projects that have tighter constraints and requirements, you'll find that you'll need to start to override the default Django table name. In Django, the default table name for a model is generated based upon the model's application name. So in this case, it's going to be inventory, and then it utilizes the model's class name. So in this case, it would be category. So what we end up with when we migrate the category model here is the table name inventory underscore category with a lowercase. Now, where you find you have a table which has a double name, in this case seasonal event, you're going to find that Django would name this table, for example, here in this example would be inventory underscore seasonal event, all one word without a space or lowercase. Now, generally, what we're trying to achieve or what we're trying to ensure is that the table names are unique across different applications and models within the same project, and thus trying to avoid any potential naming conflicts in the database. Now, where we have a combination of two or more words in Django, it's not generally problematic. There are some considerations here, and some might say best practices to ensure smooth querying and interaction with the database when particularly we have a combination of two or more words. Now we have a choice here. We could go ahead and just utilize the default, so in this case inventory underscore seasonal event or one word lowercase, or potentially what might be nicer, particularly when we start to query and interact with the database, is to separate the words with an underscore. Now, anytime you start to change any of the naming, it's always important to remember to try and be consistent with your naming convention. So stick to a consistent naming convention throughout your project where you can. So in this case, I think we're going to try and convert any of these models that have a combination of two or more words. We're going to utilize snake case, so a lowercase with underscores for our table names. That way it follows the same pattern as the current setup where we have inventory underscore and then the model name, but we're just going to extend that so to make sure that any of our tables with double names or more will have the underscore. Right, so you can actually see I've already completed this task. You don't need to watch me type out the names for each table, but I've simply just moved through our set of models here. I've added now the class meta within our Django model, and you can see that I've utilized the DB name and I've supplied the name. Now, when you do name your tables, you will need to also supply, like Django automatically does with the tables, supplies or adds the app name first, underscore, and then the table name. So I am following the same convention, which also leads into the point that you can actually now change that completely for all of your tables should you need to do that. So here you can see I've added the table name inventory underscore and then seasonal event, but this time with the underscore between the two words. So the task now is to simply move through the set of tables and redefine the names with this new naming convention. So we have seasonal event, we have product type. There's quite a few tables we have with double names. So just move through each one with an attribute value and so on.